Hi, my name is Kelly Barb, and I'm the co-chair of the Global Societal Initiatives Committee of AIChE, and I'm also a member of the Societal Impact Operating Council. I'm here today with Semaj Troupe and Josh McMillan, and we're going to talk about their project in Peru with Engineers Without Borders. Josh and Semaj, please introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Semaj Troupe. I'm a fourth-year chemical engineering student at UC Davis. I am the current external vice president of Engineers Without Borders, and I'm just a regular member, part of AIChE.
Hi, my name is Joshua McMillan. I'm a fourth-year chemical engineering student at the University of California, Davis. I am the project lead for the Peru project for Engineers Without Borders, and I'm also a general member of American Institute of Chemical Engineers.
So tell us about your project in Peru.
So our project in Peru is a water quality improvement project, water quality and supply. So it all started with one of our past members who graduated and became a Peace Corps member. The community he was stationed in was in Huaylla, Peru. Well, he was stationed in San Marcos, the nearest major city. And so he coordinated with that community what they needed, and he was also in communication with our chapter as well. And through that connection, we started this project. And so the project is a 5-year commitment between us and the community, and our goal is to increase the supply of potable water. So the first year, our team went out and did an assessment of the community, see what exactly they needed, gather data to better understand the problem to be solved. The second year, we went during the summer to renovate their spring water collection system. So they use what's called spring boxes, or captaciones in Spanish, and the water bubbles up into them and gets delivered to the community. This last year, we built an 80 cubic meter concrete reservoir. This upcoming summer, we're planning on renovating their water distribution system because it's very old, has lots of leaks. It's basically a sprinkler system sometimes. It's also undersized for the amount of water they're receiving. And then the last year, we plan on just doing a maintenance trip for all the systems we implemented, making sure that there's a solid handoff between us and the community in terms of operation, and closing out the project officially.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So what's the most challenging aspect of working with your community?
I would say first off, an obvious one would be the language barrier. So I'm not the most fluent in Spanish, neither is Josh, but luckily we had some project members who are actually very fluent in Spanish, and I think the language barrier is really hard because, like, not only are you not aware of what people are saying sometimes, but also you're not aware of sort of like cultural differences sometimes. And I think that was a really hard thing to sort of understand and being able to communicate with them effectively. So a specific challenge that we faced was the guy who was really good at speaking Spanish, named Evan, for our project. He was sick for like a couple weeks. And it was just me and Josh trading off doing, making sure the construction was going well for the 80 cubic meter dome-topped reservoir. But us being the young, budding undergrads who were like, oh, we're in Peru, this project's going well so far. What happened was they started building a conical roof, which was against sort of like our plans, right? But we thought like, oh, maybe this would be something that they're going to fix into a dome later, right? We weren't too sure, but communicating that wasn't the easiest because our limited Spanish knowledge. So eventually it got to the point where we realized they weren't building a dome roof, which was the original plan, and then we had to sort of like tell them like, hey, this isn't going to work. It's not going to go with our current measurements, and it's going to mess up. It's going to like mess up the whole like calculations that we had for the domed roof and everything. So just having a challenge like that where we didn't speak Spanish well enough, or we weren't sure how they did things in Peru, So it was sort of like, hey, this isn't going to work. Let's talk this over. Let's do this over, and let's actually go according to plan. So.
Another challenge kind of layered into that is the politics. So the contractors were hired by the local municipality. So in that trip, we were not technically the ones in authority when it comes to instructing the contractors with what to do. So we could provide our input, but that could be laid aside. So we had to communicate with the engineer from the municipality, bring him involved, And so just navigating just that web of responsibility, it can be a challenge, definitely.
Absolutely.
Very challenging, yeah.
Wow. So how do you ensure that the work that you're doing is sustainable in this community?
So we put a huge focus within our trip on education on top of just the design work that we do during the year. And so what we'll do is we coordinate with the Peace Corps representatives who we work with and also the local government so that we can provide operations manuals and trainings to operators in the community so that they can handle it on their own. The community itself has these organizations called HOSs, which is each small community has volunteer members who are in charge of water and sanitation. And so we work very closely with them as well, educating them. They'll elect a water operator who is in charge of maintaining the system. And so really the HOS structures within the Peruvian communities are very critical because proper education and trainings have to be delivered so that when we leave, they can handle everything on their own.
Absolutely.
And I think an important thing sort of goes in line with that is that we have the actual community that brings volunteers per day to do these projects so that they're actually taking ownership of their project. And it's not just us coming in and then leaving and they're like, oh, whatever, they're not really maintaining the system. So if they're involved, then they're going to want to keep it and maintain it.
Yeah.
Our involvement is a partnership, and we find that to be very critical. We're not just walking in, building something, saying, oh, this is better. We're making sure that we're really communicating. If the community wants to change something about the design, originally we designed a flat roof, and the community said, we want a domed roof. It goes back and forth, but we make sure we factor in that input, and we're building alongside the community so that there's ownership.
Absolutely, that's great. So how has working in this field of international development changed your worldview and also your future aspirations?
I think for me, the biggest thing is just how large the world is. Like going to a different country, waking up every morning, getting to walk in a rural village up a dirt path, have people call your name, speak your name in Spanish, just super happy to see you because you're a foreigner and you're doing a project that helps them. It was just amazing. It sort of made me want to either do Peace Corps or just travel or just expand my horizons in general because I'm a chemical engineering student, but most of the work we did was sort of civil and construction management and everything and problem solving and doing a whole bunch of things I would have never probably learned in the classroom. So I think for me it was just really cool to be in a different place and being able to just understand different cultures and being able to bring my engineering expertise and sort of build off of that.
Absolutely.
So.
And also just personally, just experiencing life without the privileges we have in the United States or other communities where we have a lot of infrastructure to supply potable water and all that, and we just take for granted opening the tap, water coming out, and you can just drink it straight from the tap and you won't have any immediate infections or anything. So just going to another community, opening the water and then dry faucet, and you're just like, wow, it looks like I'm not drinking water today, I'm not taking a shower today. It really shocks your mentality, not everybody gets that privilege. And so
this is crazy part.
It as a person, it cuts kind of the fat out of your own lifestyle in terms of what you're entitled to, but it also gave me a passion to join the Peace Corps as well, or whatever career path I take, the benefit of others is in mind.
Absolutely. Well, Semaj and Josh, thank you so much for the work that you're doing and for joining me today, and congratulations on winning the EWB grant offered by AIChE.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.